It's all a little bit hazy what happened, because over the time I've sort of blocked a few things out. I can remember thinking to myself, I'm not coming out of this. This is it. October 2012, I was short notice deployed to Afghanistan. I was the only female, I was the only RAF, and there was about 40 of us at the camp. It was on the last night that I was there, and I can remember I was sat at a picnic bench talking to one of the Marines when we heard just a mass of automatic gunfire. It was just sheer panic. Everybody was running around, you couldn't see anything. All you could see was the bullets zipping down the line. It sounded like we were getting attacked from the outside in. I can remember an Apache flying over and covering fire. I can remember 2 Chinooks coming in to take casualties out, because 1 engineer was killed and 6 were injured. It seemed like hours that it went on for. It was probably only about half an hour. But at the end, when we found out the person who had died and the people that had gone off injured, it was a bit surreal. There was just bullets everywhere. There was obviously areas where people had been shot. The next morning I had an interview with the squadron leader. He asked me if I was okay. I had a bit of a cry, and then I went straight back to work. I'm throwing myself into work because in the background I can hear them talking about everything that was going on, and at times it started to upset me. I completely tried to avoid everything that happened. I started to have panic attacks. I distanced myself from everybody. I would go to work by myself, I'd walk back by myself. I also started to self-harm, which I'm not proud of. My chain of command had a couple of meetings with me. I said all I want to do is go home for 2 days just to see my little boy, and they wouldn't let me go. They were convinced that they could get me sorted and keep me out there for the last month of my tour. It didn't work. I didn't want to be there. In the end I saw a doctor and she said, we're going to medevac you home. That was a massive relief. I flew straight back to Bryce. My husband and son were there to pick me up. I decided that I was fine, I didn't need anybody. I was back home with my family, nobody else cared. So I carried on going to work. I wasn't myself. I got extremely angry with people. I would snap at people. I was very intolerant of people. I didn't want to know. I would sit at my computer with earphones in my ears so I didn't have to listen to anybody. And it was sort of then when I realised that I'm not all right. Perhaps, I do need to speak to somebody. I didn't think I was any different at home. Apparently I was. My husband said I was a completely different person, which upsets me. It took a long time for me to open up. I don't think I really have fully opened up about everything. I know it won't ever go, but I know I need to get to a point where I can cope with it. If I'm under a little bit of stress, then I know it's not going to come flooding back, but it does at the minute.